Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be doing a timeless reading. No particular subject. This reading is really meant for the people that need to hear it. And whether you listen to it a week, a year even from now, it will suit you. It will hopefully help you out in your path. Okay. If you'd like to support the channel, you're more than welcome to subscribe, like the video, and if it did resonate with you, drop a comment. And I'll also be showing you the cards. Let's see what we have here. Okay. A lot of thinking here, that's for sure. It's more so an introspective phase for you in your journey. I feel like you have been in a certain way guided to this point. And maybe you were guided to this reading. In your recent past, you got the High Priestess. Now, this is really you kind of going into the flow of things, not so much really using your head. It's more so you allowing yourself to be put in the situation and really having faith that you are here because it's your calling. It's something that you are meant to be doing. And up to this point, you have understood and accepted that, because at the end of the day, if you were to maybe if you were to plan about all this on your own, it just wouldn't have been possible. I mean, the only way that you have gotten to this point is by fate, is by the works of God in a way. And it's after really walking through the storm and getting to a point where you're finally able to really think about everything that has happened up to this point and put into perspective, really trying to understand. Not that you are really doing away with what has happened, but really just trying to understand it more so than anything. Now, it definitely wasn't the easiest path, but it led you to something very positive though. Wheel of Fortune. Not that it changed your life in a material way, but it's more so your life on the inside. And oftentimes the biggest changes do start from the inside. And that's something that you're starting to realize. That's something that, to be perfectly honest, was not the easiest for you. Because you were, like I said, really swimming in the dark. But now it's gotten to a point where, okay, now I'm starting to understand where things are going. Now I'm starting to, I'm able to see really in this deep ocean of really my emotions, but also of what is going on surrounding me. And with the Two of Swords, it really helps you understand and accept also where you're at. You know, it's one of those things where, like, let's say you get into a car crash and you know, it happens so fast. You really don't know what happened. You were scared, etc., etc. And then at the end, you realize that you crashed the car, that you do have some, you know, you're gonna have to have repairs done. That's gonna cost you money, etc. But right now, where you're at is, okay, you know what? Nobody got hurt. I know it was bad. I know it was very unfortunate, but at the end of the day, nobody got hurt. And that's really where the treasure is. That's where the victory is. Again, it's you know, I feel that you have been in this journey for a while now, and it hasn't been easy, and in fact, it has been quite lonely in a way. But it feels like after the crash, no matter how bad the crash is, Tower, you cannot help but to be thankful that it happened the way that it did. Because if the crash didn't happen, you wouldn't have known you had to change your brakes. You wouldn't have known you had to do certain maintenance in your car in order to replace it, because at the end of the day, you were in the neighborhood. You were not in the highway. And so it's better to have that kind of an accident in your neighborhood versus going to the highway and losing control completely. And I feel like that's what's happening here. It's having an accident at a very controlled environment in a way. Not really of your controlling, but really God's controlling. You know, it's you're not in the ocean, you're in a small aquarium. And having that perception, understanding that, Mother of Swords, really allows you to look at things in a way that it's more so an understanding with the loving touch of it, right? That's the Mother. It's about being thankful for being in this type of environment. You have leveled up mentally, but also spiritually. And it's about understanding that, you know, parts of you really need to be heard as well. It's not so much about the thinking, it's about the feeling also. And it's one of those things where, you know how you know how kids, they, sometimes they have a Three of Swords. They have a, it's not so much a competition, but like, in elementary school, you have like this mini convention, and then maybe you make drawings and you put to display, and the adults look at it. I mean, when you're a kid, you really don't know what's going on, but as an adult looking at a kid, it's one of those things that, like, yeah, the artwork is not, may not be the prettiest, but at the end of the day, you will understand why it's important for the kids to have that for themselves, have that space to show their creativity, because not only it will bring happiness to them, but it will also bring a sense of, I can do this, right? It's okay for me to try. It's okay for me to show what I can create, etc. And that's really where you're at, where you're going with, though. It's about the understanding that, you know what? Maybe some of the things that I'm doing here are not really, it might not, do anything, whether it's financially or, it might not please others, but at the end of the day, it does make you happy. It does change a lot of things inside of you. And mentally, it allows you to give space to that child that's within you. It allows you to be yourself. And that's really where the happiness is. It's not about bringing something back. It's what does it do for you by doing so? By expressing how you feel, or by expressing who you are, what you want to do. I mean, you feel Six of Wands. It brings a happiness to you, though. And that should never be overlooked. In fact, that's a very major thing, because with this energy, you can do other things. Maybe if you have obligations, it helps you push through those obligations. It helps you with, it gives you, in a way, gives you a purpose. It makes you happy. People shouldn't live to just work. They are allowed to do things that they want to do as well, that brings them happiness. Not everybody that plays football or plays soccer is going to be a professional athlete, but at the end of the day, those things do bring happiness. People look forward maybe in the weekend to partake in those activities. And that's also a very major point in life, an aspect of life. Princess of Wands. It's really you allowing you to be yourself, and people actually being inspired by that. Indirectly, by allowing yourself to be yourself, you're also helping people with allowing themselves to be themselves. encouraging them, telling them, yeah, you can do it. It doesn't matter where it takes you, you can do it. It's I think it's something that we take for granted nowadays. We might be financially well, but what then if you're not in this energy, right? There's more to life than kicking butt. It's about the kid inside of you that oftentimes is neglected because maybe in the past you were neglected and you just learned that that was the normal thing to do. You learned that maybe you're not able to attempt to go after your dreams or after the things that you really enjoy doing. That is wrong. But it's not. Actually, that's one, if I was to say life was a plate, a food of some sort, doing these things are really the spice. Otherwise, life would be kind of dull. And so no matter what you're trying to do here, whether it's a creative project that frankly you don't see any type of return, it doesn't matter. That's still just as important as something that gives you return financially. Because it's about the wholeness. When you feel happy, you attract that to you. And so let's say you're in a job and you're working there, but you're not happy, right? It's important to also have that spice, because with that spice you're going to attract, even if you're working at that job, you're going to attract things that are actually very beneficial to you even in that job, because your energy changes, and then you end up making more, right? Not that you can't get a passion to be your work. That's actually very possible. But it's more so, what does that passion bring to you? It brings happiness. It brings joy. And to be quite honest, it fulfills you. It completes you. Four of Pentacles. Every aspect of life is important. It puts you in a stable energy. It's all linked together. And without one of them, it becomes very difficult to fully be who you are. Because at the end of the day, that's also part of you. And it will always be part of you. Especially if you have a kid there in your heart that knows what it wants, but it never gets it. And I feel that you do need to allow that to speak to you, because it's part of you as well. So be the mother. Be the mother of the kid. Mother of Pentacles. It's about providing, right? So if that voice inside of you says, hey, listen, I want to try this, I want to try doing this or that, instead of telling yourself no, allow it. Allow it to do it. Don't worry about the results, because when a mother cares for their kid, when the mother, all she really wants is to see their kids happy, and their kids asked to, I don't know, play soccer. The mother's not taking them to the park to play soccer because she expects them to be a soccer star. At the end of the day, they just want to see them happy. And that's what you should allow yourself to do. Okay? All right. Thanks so much for watching the reading. I hope to see you next time.